I'm Jessica. I'm from Casey's Garden Shop. I do the majority of the planters here for orders, or people bring them in. They go out to people's houses and plant them at their homes. Let's see. I guess we'll just get right into it. Generally, you want to make sure you have holes in your pots, because if not, then it's not gonna drain very well. But you also don't want your dirt to go through the hole and make a big mess on your patio. So the first thing I usually do is I cover up the drain hole with landscaping fabric. You can also use coffee filters, because most people have those lying around their house. This one doesn't happen to have a hole, so I won't be putting it in there. But I'll make sure that both of you have something to fill up the hole. So the next thing is you start filling it up with dirt. And once you get we use the back toe soils, which is a nice soil for plants for potting. It's a little bit lighter than like Miracle-Gro, which means that it drains a little bit better. Some people like soils that hold the moisture in more, because then they don't have to water as often. But I find if you have a nice draining soil, you're less likely to overwater your plants, because you can always fix something that's been underwatered, whereas if it's been overwatered, not so much.
There's no going back.
Yeah, once you've done that, you basically need to start all over again. And I fill it about halfway up, and then I put Osmocote in it, which is a time-release fertilizer. And I put this in all of our planters. If they don't get, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't fertilize it otherwise with using like Miracle-Gro or something else, because
you can't over-fertilize.
You can't over-fertilize it, really, exactly.
Casey told me to come over here.
Oh. Okay.
I guess I'm supposed to learn.
So fill it halfway and put Osmocote in, and then you fill it up the rest of the way. This is a pretty big urn, so it takes a while.
Yeah.
Can you get me a garbage can?
Okay.
Now you don't want to fill it all the way to the top quite yet until you get your plants in. So when I get the rest of the soil in that I'm going to use before I top it off around the plants and stuff, I put some more Osmocote in. That also depends on how big your planter is. I mean, if you have a smaller planter, you obviously don't need as much. But in a big thing like this, you need a little bit more. And I just mix it in, and then I start with my plant selection. If you're going to do if your area is more sunny, in a more sunny location, like a south-facing or west-facing, where it's going to get afternoon sun, you want mostly full sun plants. And full sun's considered like 5 or 6 hours of sun a day. You also want, and if it's in the shade, you want more things like impatiens and euphorbias and more foliage type plants. When you start planting, you also do things in like 3 tiers. Like one thing in the middle, if it's going to be all around, you put one thing in the middle that's going to be tall, and then you put about 3 things that are going to be medium height, and then you put stuff that's going to be trailing down. So for this one, this customer wanted, thank you, Jane.
Shy? You don't need me to do it? Okay, thanks.
A big spike in the middle. Now, a lot of times, if I just put this in here, it fill up the entire pot, and it's more soil than I need. So I just kind of shave a little off around it. and kind of break up the roots. And it's kind of a good idea to break up the roots anyways, because it kind of stimulates growth. And it also, when roots are wound up in a pot, when you break them up, they're more likely to spread out instead of just keep circling, basically. So you put that in the middle. And she also picked out these geraniums. Oh. Which she wanted broken up, but it's the wrong size. And it's only one plant, so you can't break it up. So I'll have to do that. But she also picked out some Million Bells, which is also full sun, and some Diasha, which is also full sun. And usually what I would do is I would put the geraniums in first, but I'll do that last, I guess, this time. And you just kind of put them around. You usually do in sets of threes, in odd numbers, so like 1, 3, 5, because it's more aesthetically pleasing. So you just stick 3 in there.
It doesn't shock the plant to lose part of that root system that you're getting rid of?
No. You don't really get rid of most of the roots. It's mostly just extra soil. So it's not too bad. And then usually what I would do is I'd fill in the holes with dirt. And you want to fill the dirt up to about 1 inch away from the top of the pot. But since I have to find
below the pot?
Yeah, below the top, below the roof of the pot. But since I have to get new geraniums, I'll wait until I find them. And then, so the geraniums are going to go like right here. So you're going to have the big balls of geraniums, the colors around up in here, and then this stuff's going to kind of bush out and trail down. And that's basically all you need to know. Do you have any questions or?
I just want to planning this pot.
Yep, that's no problem at all.
We're picking out good things.
Okay.